It's late at night and I didn't sleep very well last night, and I don't think I'm going to sleep too well tonight. Mostly because I'm making this video. Yeah, that's not going to help, is it? I'm making this video so I can sleep better just by getting my story out. It might even help somebody. So when you're driving, or when you're learning to drive, you get taught everything from the basics, and then you just get more and more experience the longer you do it. Like anything. Um, the only thing they don't really teach you in driving lessons is motorway driving. They do give you the option. It depends on your driving instructor. The driving instructor will give you an option to do an additional day in their car on the motorway. Do it, go for it. I suggest doing it. Do not be scared of the motorway. Do not be scared. Motorways are classed as some of the safest roads to drive on, and they actually are the easiest roads to drive on. You jam it in top gear, keep your foot on the pedal, keep it about 70, and overtake when you need to. Make sure you're in the right, make sure you're in your correct lane and everything. Your driving instructor will give you better advice than I am here. I'm just giving you kind of a basic crash course of how motorway driving works. This is not a tutorial, so it is really easy. Don't be afraid of motorway driving. I recommend, even if you've passed your test, speak to your instructor, say I want to do one lesson with you motorway driving, teach me everything you need that I need to know about motorway driving, and they're more than happy to do it for you if they're a really good instructor. Mine was really good. He offered it without me even asking. I said yeah, right away, immediately do it. And it came in handy because yesterday I did more motorway driving than I've ever done, and dead easy. Top gear, foot on pedal, make sure you're in lane, overtake when it's clear and you feel like you need to overtake, and just make sure you're in your right lane when you're turning off the junction, or if it's going, if there's another one there and it splits off, just make sure you're in your right lane. I was in the wrong lane, rookie mistake, ended up having to go around long trip. So long story short, I'm waffling on. My accident, and this is where no amount of training can prepare you. If you are driving in a rural area where there's lots of countryside and there's not as many houses, you're more likely to see animals on the road than you would in a built-up area, or you're more likely to see wild animals. Whereas in a built-up area, you're probably going to get like cats and dogs. Even though it's just try not hit, but your highway code says you've got to keep going. You're not supposed to swerve, stop, or anything for animals. You're not supposed to. That's what the highway code says. But just keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for wildlife when you're driving, especially in rural areas. Because this is what happened to me. I was driving back from my friend's house, dropped them off. We'd had a lovely day out. We'd gone to the aquarium in Hull, the Deep. Really recommend it. Really good. There's a giant tank in there with sharks and flatfish and stingrays and all sorts. So I got this guy from, and he was sat on my parcel shelf on the way back home. And now sleeps in bed with me. Isn't he a lucky sharky, flatfishy thing? So, yep, gone all the way to Hull. Picked them up, gone all the way to Hull, dropped them back off, and I was on my way home. And it was dark like this. It was about 9, between the hours of 9 and 10 o'clock. And it's only today my friends told me that May and roughly September, October time, so April, May, September, October time is the peak times to see deer, around about 9 o'clock. And that's when the crashes, the peaks of accidents involving deer, this peak at these two times a year. I was just unlucky enough. I hit a deer. I hit a deer and smashed my car up. I'm praying and hoping that it's not written off and they can fix it. We'll see. I was in a national speed limit zone, dark, no lights at either side of the road, hedgerows, and it was just a typical British two-way road. You know, just a typical width of one. I don't know what the width in units is. Couldn't tell you. Traffic in front of me, traffic behind me, traffic coming down. Dark. I didn't have my full beams on because obviously the car in front of me, I didn't want to blind them. And that's when it happened. This thing bounced out of the other hedgerow. The only reason I know that is because it ended up in front of my car. I didn't see it bounding out of the hedgerow. Didn't see it because it was dark. There was nothing illuminating the other side of the road. And the way my car was, even if I had my full beams on, where my car was positioned, I would never have seen it with my lights. It would have had to have been lights coming down. Would have been the only way I could have seen this thing. And quicker than I can blink, brown thing in front of my car. Bang! Just, I can't describe to you how quick it was. It was literally no reaction time. It was quicker than a reaction time. It was like a blink sort of thing. It was so fast. Nothing, then suddenly something crashed. And I can't. The other car's coming up behind me at speeds. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm in shock. I do apply the brakes, and then I realise the car's coming up to me at speed. And I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna have to keep going. And the car's coming down, they're stopping. So I'm really hoping this deer didn't suffer. I genuinely feel awful for it. I genuinely feel awful for hitting it. There's nothing I can do. Nothing. I've been thinking, shoulda, woulda, coulda, what ifs all day long. I've been stuck in here all day long with what if I'd have taken the right junction, what if I'd have stayed over at theirs for a bit, what if this, what if that, what if I'd taken a quicker route. It's happened, I can't change it. It's happened. Whether it's fate or not, I don't know. So I just had to keep going. And that's when I thought, right, when it's safe to do so, pull off the road. And that's exactly what I did. Kept my car at a steady speed. And I saw that temperature gauge climbing. And I'm like, this needs to get off the road now. So I knew a couple of yards down the road, there's a junction, turn off, well-lit area, slower speed limits. And that's when I find an empty car park. And I'm like, great, yes, perfect. Pull in there. And well-lit area, security cameras. Great, perfect. Right, I can park here, assess the damage. And that's when I see it. The front of my car. I nearly cried. Words can't describe just the feelings of when something like that happens to you. People have been telling me you're lucky the thing didn't come over the bonnet and into the windscreen. If I were driving a car with a lower front end, that might have happened. It might have come up. I might not even be sat here making this video right now if that had happened. And I know it was only a small one, but the still wave, I don't know how much a baby deer weighs, but they're not light. I know if I had to say a weight, roughly looking at a small deer, maybe 60 to 70 kilograms, maybe more, maybe less. I don't know. Just that's a rough number that comes to my mind when I see a baby deer, because they are quite big animals and they're really skittish. It's just that one was just not fast enough. It, I wish it had just waited. It could have seen today. I hope I didn't just name it. I hope, as fucked as it sounds, I'm hoping it died on impact because I want it to have a painless death. I don't want it to have a painful death. Because I imagine it's got to hurt a lot when you get hit by a car at that speed. Pulled over and I saw it all. The front plastics had all gone. Opened the bonnet. That's where I saw the damage. Coolant was just, as soon as I stopped the car, all the coolant had gone. The radiator had taken the brunt of the force, and that were completely deformed. It was just dished in. The fan, that was fine. The fan were completely fine on the actual radiator. Mine's a 2015 model, so the radiator bolts onto the back of the fan. That were fine. The only thing, the bolts had sheared off from that. The radiator was just mangled. All the front grille plastics had gone. I'd even lost my badge. I don't know where that went. My badge had come off, and then the number plate, that was all smashed in, and all the cracks on the number plate had deer fur stuck in them. I've never seen anything like it. And there were blood in the grill, in the bottom. It was just wet and red in there. It was a mixture of coolant and blood, grass and hair. And this thing was square in front of me when it hit. So I hit it full side on. It wasn't a clip or anything, it was a full side. And no amount of training or anything could prepare for that. You could have the best reaction time in the world, and you would still hit that. That's how quick it was. And that's the thing that's what I'm trying to convey in this video, the message I'm trying to convey. Be careful when driving, especially at night when it's dark like this on country roads. If you've got bull bars in a higher up vehicle, you're going to be safer, but that thing's still going to do some damage to you. If you're in a small car like I was, especially if the front end, if it's a slightly earlier car like a 2009 or anything earlier, the front end is lower, the chance of that coming up, especially if it were a big one. I'm so glad it wasn't a bigger one. It probably would have come up. Like I say, I probably wouldn't even be here making this video if it were a bigger one. And I've just been all day long just thinking, people have seen it, I've been so, not myself, so staring off to space or away, and I actually nearly collapsed today. I stood up and I nearly just collapsed. I was in a shop, in one of the shops that I know, and speaking to the shopkeeper. I stood up. Last night I didn't sleep very well last night. That's another thing, it's impacted my sleep. It's like, I know my car's not at home. I know I've had this massive accident. I know I need to get it all sorted. my mind just couldn't rest. You know, after it all happened, all I wanted to do was go home. I just wanted to go home and just be at home. I didn't want anybody around me. I just wanted to be at home on my own. I just wanted to sit in my room, you know, get a shower, just sit in my room and just be on my own. I didn't want to. I don't care that I've lost my premiums on my insurance. The only thing I care about is the fact that I'm still here and that I can make this video. I know this is going to be a really hard to watch video. Most of my videos are, because I can't convey the words in here outwardly. I struggle with that. It's somewhat whatever I've got, and I know the car will get fixed. Fingers crossed, I hope. If not, it'll get written off, and if I end up with a payout, I'll go down and just buy another one. I will miss that car though if it don't get fixed. I will miss that car. Beautiful, beautiful car. Suzuki Swift. Really fun car. Really, really fun car. Yeah, got really good handling. After what I've seen with that accident. Robust. Robust as well. Suzuki, if you want to sponsor me, I could do a great little car review for you. Yeah, it's just, like I said, I've not slept very well last night, and tonight I've got to be up early in the morning, and I'm just expecting to not sleep very well tonight either. Well, I'll be meeting the people that are taking my car. They'll be fixing it. I've got to meet them. Even though it got a busted front end, I still put the steering wheel lock on. So I'll take that back home with me, and then I've got a impromptu home defense tool. Yeah, like I say, nothing in the world could prepare you for that. Nature has its funny ways. I'm going to talk about my first roadkill as well, and then I'm going to close this video out and go to bed. So the first roadkill, I'd had the car for about 3 days. And again, this was a country road. National speed limit, which most of our country roads are, 60 mile an hour up and down. And this one, it was still light coming back home. It did need the headlights on, it was just coming dusk. Now, the sun was setting roughly about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Getting back home, and there's a junction, there's this huge winding road that's from top to bottom, 60 mile an hour, huge piece of road, quite fun to drive down. And there's a junction on it, about halfway down, and this other car were coming down, they had their indicator on, they were slowing down, and their car was really dark grey or black or something. It was, you know, it was absorbing a lot of light, and there was a lot of trees and hedgerows. The sun wasn't quite getting through all this, so their headlights on indicated they slowed down. I thought maybe they're waiting to see if I'm dropping a signal to turn off, which I wasn't. I was going straight on. So I'm getting closer and closer and closer, and this car sat there. I'm thinking, why haven't they turned yet? And then they start flashing their headlights at me. Well, again, I've got another car behind me. I'm thinking, what's going on now? Is there an accident further up the road? All of a sudden, pheasant sticks its head up, boom, right in the middle of my car. Somehow, this pheasant just appears out of nowhere. I look behind me. I couldn't do anything. I could not slam on because there's a car behind me. and we're going uphill. I'm holding it at a steady 50. Look behind me, puff of feathers. I'm like, oh my God. I know for a fact that died instantly. I'd hit it in the head. Its head hit the grill, and when I got back home, there was blood in my grill again. God, that's really fucked to say. That is really, really fucked up to say. I was traumatized after that. I was like, oh my God, that was my first. I was really, really traumatized by that. Like, it fucked me up all the way back home. I was like, oh my God. I mean, you know, the highway code and everybody around me said, you know, you're not supposed to stop or swerve or anything for nature. Well, especially in our highway code, you're not really supposed to stop for nature. And if I had have slammed on, I could have ended up in a wreck then, and that would have been my fault. I would have been liable. Best thing to do was, it's just a small bird. It's not going to do too much damage to the car. I've got to keep going. Whereas versus I slam on, car ends up in the back of me and I end up with whiplash. I'm sorry, that bird's gone. It chose to dawdle across the road. I don't know why some animals just don't have. It's got wings, for God's sake. Why doesn't it fly? Why does it have to walk across the road? And the other thing, though, on the way back from Hull, we'd gone all the way down towards, as far down as you can drive toward that little piece of land that sticks out. On his way back, there was just nature everywhere, trying across the road, pheasants. What were the other ones? Not quails. It could have been quails, actually. One of them was sat there, and then the other one had gone onto the road, and then it were running that way, and then it eventually flew off. I'm like, why do you just run? Why do you do the Prometheus run? Just stop next to the road or fly over the road. The worst part was, I remember when people weren't allowed outside as much, I think nature got used to crossing the road a lot more. Because the first thing I saw when we were allowed to go out, the first few months, me and my mum had chose to go to the coast. She was obviously driving at the time. I just remember counting the amount of roadkill at the side of the road. I'd never seen so much roadkill in my life. Because obviously nature had gotten used to the roads being so quiet during that period. And then all of a sudden they're busy again and nature's not used to it, it's not caught up. So there was just hares, rabbits, pheasants, other birds, other things mashed. I'm sorry, I used the wrong word then. Mashed.